Hey, I'm Nick with the Tartan team. I'm here to help you buy, sell, and invest in the greater Vancouver, Washington area. And in this video, we're gonna go over Felida, Washington, what makes this such a unique spot. Gonna give you a rundown on the history, demographics, and some of my favorite local spots to check out. So Felida is tucked in right with the Columbia River and Vancouver Lake to the west. On the east side, you've got I-205. On the north, you start to run into Ridgefield, and then on the south, you have downtown Vancouver. And so you're surrounded by the accessibility on the freeway. You've got all of the beauty of the Columbia River Valley, and then of course the local feel of downtown Vancouver just below you. And then with the history of Felida, it gets its unique name from a postmaster's cat in the early 20th century. You can kind of hear that Felida, feline, it comes from that Latin root there. And whether you're a cat person or not, it's an amazing spot because it started as a rural community, and you get that feel out here. There are a lot of green spaces. There's a fair bit of agricultural influence that you still see around the town. But about the time of World War II is when this area really started to get its suburban feel. As there was the baby boom, more housing needed to be developed, and Felida was a natural area to be built up. So with that, you're gonna find a lot of 1970s homes that are single level, about 2,000 square feet or so, but because of the agricultural roots of this area, most of them are on a quarter-acre lot or larger, which is really unique for the Clark County area, to be able to get a wonderfully sized older home, but on a large lot. In terms of real estate, Felida has one of the most diverse offerings of single-family homes within the area. Now, most everything in Felida is single-family. There's not very many condos, townhomes, or cottage projects, but if you are looking at single-family, you're gonna find this great mix of homes that were built in the 60s and 70s that are usually smaller homes, but on generous-sized lots. And then you're also going to find some of the most luxurious, expensive, custom homes. In fact, the last 3 parade of homes were all here in Felida. But most of the housing that you're gonna see here is kind of like what's behind me. They're gonna be these 2,500 to 3,200 square foot single family homes because this neighborhood really does cater to a family feel. Now, in terms of pricing, because of that mix that you have, you're gonna find some of those 60s, 70s homes for about $500,000. And then of course, with the custom homes, well, the sky is the limit on pricing there. But I'd say the average purchase price of a home in this area is around $800,000. So as you can imagine, given the proximity to downtown Vancouver and downtown Portland, how close you are to I-5, and then all of the natural beauty that is afforded by being so close to the Columbia River, demand for Felida is very high and it continues to increase. And that's in large part because the builders can't keep up with demand for the people that want to live here, and the homes that are being built are very expensive, which is to say it is a very hot market. Compared to most of the county, homes in Felida only sit on the market for about 15 days before going pending. When you look at other spots in Vancouver, that's about half the amount of time. You also would expect greater appreciation on homes in Felida than you would in other parts of Vancouver. There's really no sign of demand slowing down in this area, and that's in part because that even if builders could keep up with demand, there really isn't enough land to go around, and that again just speaks to how generously sized the lots were for the original homes that were built up in this community. I keep mentioning natural beauty, but what good is natural beauty if you can't enjoy it? And that's an area where Felida really shines. There are tons of parks, trails, places to go to enjoy the nature around you, like Felida Park that we're in now. This is a wonderful community gathering spot. There's space for the kids to play soccer, to throw a ball for the dog. There's a really nice playground. And then there's also the Salmon Creek Regional Park. There's a wonderful spot for swimming there, miles for biking and running, baseball fields. And then just down the way from here, you have Vancouver Lake and Frenchman's Bar. These are very popular spots where there's sandy beaches, again, if you want to go swimming, more playgrounds, and really popular spots for people who like running and biking because there's just miles and miles to go with very limited traffic, relatively speaking. So when we meet to talk real estate, most likely I'm going to invite you to meet me at Creed Coffee here in Felida, one of my favorite coffee spots. And I also consider myself a foodie, so when my wife and I are going out for a date, we love coming to this area because there's Farrar's Bistro and Amaro's Table. And then there's also a bunch of local fitness studios. There's different wine bars. Everything that you want to do for fun, meeting up with your friends, you can do here in the community. And then you also have all the services that you need. There's a lot of local businesses that are built around taking care of this neighborhood, of the people who live here, which just adds to the pride that people who live in Felida have in being part of this community. Another thing that makes Felida so desirable is the incredible schools that serve this area. They consistently get some of the highest marks for the Vancouver area. The high school, Skyview, is known for its incredible sports programs as well as its AP offerings. There's a high percentage of students enrolled in the school that are in AP classes, and they've historically done really well. But more than just individual student performance, there's a lot of community buy-in to the schools here. A lot of local residents that are attending sporting events. You can tell that people in this community care about the school system. They care about how kids are doing, which is a really good thing to see. Anytime you're buying a home, where you're going to live is a huge decision. And one of my favorite risk assessment questions is, would I let my mom live there? Would I encourage her to do so? And with the Felida area, the answer is 100%. Absolutely, I would. I love this area. I love it from an investment standpoint with how quickly homes appreciate compared to most of the area, with how quickly they sell. I also love all of the natural beauty that's around here, the tight-knit community feel. I love having the good schools and parks and walking trails. I love how close you are to local shops in downtown Vancouver. And it's wonderfully convenient if you do need to commute for work or if you like to make trips up to Seattle or into Portland. You really just have it all right here in Felida, Washington. So there you have it, Felida, Washington. Even though it's named after a cat, you don't have to be a cat person to love living here. And my name is Nick. I would love to hear from you in the comments below. What questions do you have? What do you like about this area? And if this is an area that you'd like to explore further, well, you can set up an appointment with me using the link in the description below, or you can find all of my contact details and a buyer's guide specific to this area at my website, thetartanteam.com.